showing up at the end of my bed at 3 o'clock in the morning. All kinds of stuff. My thoughts was confused. Didn't know how to put the phone down because he would call and I had an urgency to pick it up. Why? Because we had formulated that covenant in the spirit.
Right.
And technically, spiritually, I belong to him. Okay.
Now that's true. Come on here. Come on.
I was his spirit wife and he was my spirit husband. Mm-hmm. And so I was no longer allowing God to be preeminent in my life. Now it was a form of idolatry. Mm-hmm. Spirit spouses come in the form when there's idolatry in the bloodline. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Wow.
And so when you have those that things in your bloodline, I was hearing God when the apostle was talking, saying when you in line with that spirit, it attaches itself to your bloodline.
Yeah.
So the reason why he was able to identify and attach itself to me because it was already there, it was just hidden.
Yeah. Now that's the truth.
And then you wondering why you going through all of this now, because now the knowledge has been revealed. But to other people it has not been revealed. It's just hidden for a time. Okay.
Wow. Oh, that's good.
It came across one day, and I shared this with an apostle in private, but God wanted me to share it in public. It came across one day when I was 13 years old.
Come on here.
Okay. I said, how? Because I kept understanding I'm doing this, I'm binding, I'm loosing, I'm renouncing, I'm doing all of this, went through all this stuff, and yet this spirit feels like it still has legal access to me.
My God.
Remember, we always like to look external, but we don't look internal.
Right.
What is it in me that's driving the spirit? What is it in me that the spirit keep visiting? What is it that I have not addressed or I can't identify that's allowing that spirit to be attached to me? It's calling my bloodline. It still has the legal deed. It still has legal access. The contract is still out on me. Why? He said, because when you were 13, you made a contract. Okay.
Wow. Come on, talk about it.
When I was 13 years old, because I was molested, and I liked the taste of what it gave me.
Come on.
When I was 13 years old, I made a covenant with I made a covenant with that spirit. And I remember lying in my bed at 13 years old, bound in pornography. You know, we didn't have social media back then, but we had books. We didn't have social media back then, but we had VHS. We didn't have social media back then, but we had other means of addictions for pornography. And I was so deep in it, I said I wanted it more, because perversion is never satisfied. It always wants to be elevated to the next level. I said I want it in person.
Come on here.
So I was 13 years old, and I made a covenant with a marine spirit.
Come on. Come on.
Didn't know that my former uncle made a covenant with the same spirit.
Oh, okay. My God. My God. My God.
So it was a setup from the enemy anyway for me to be in covenant with this spirit. I said, I want that spirit to show up in the natural. I don't want it in the book no more. I want it to show up. And that spirit showed up. Okay.
Jeez, come on. Expose this thing. Come on.
So I'm standing up in my bathroom crying and weeping, saying, God, I don't understand why. He spoke this to me now. He said, it's not that I don't love you. It's not that I don't want to set you free. He said, but this thing is legal. He said, so anything you got to deal with legal, you got to address it legally. And he said, you got to renounce the covenant you made when you was 13 years old. Jesus. Come on. So I began to renounce the covenant and the initiation I made out of my own mouth. Jesus. At 13. Just because I was ignorant don't mean the enemy can't have access.
Yes,